Hello and welcome to Expo. Who's excited for FIFA 21? Woohoo! Okay, 5 year, great. Well, the new game is getting closer and closer, and as the release nears, it's still more than a month away, we'll be ramping up our FIFA content. So today we're going to look at ratings and pick out one player from every Premier League club who deserves an upgrade from FIFA 20. And by that we mean the rating they got literally at the start of the game, not the million one updates they've had since. Before we go anywhere, please give the subscribe button a big old click if you're new here and make sure you never miss a video. Arsenal BUKAYO SAKA. At the start of the season it was no wonder that BUKAYO SAKA started FIFA 20 as a 65. He was just a baby on the fringes of the Arsenal team, not expected to have the impact he did. But what an impact! The teen has had a wonderful season in an Arsenal team that has struggled at times and has even had to play left back and excelled. SAKA deserves an upgrade and there's no way he won't get it. In fact, he could be one of the biggest upgrades for FIFA 21, maybe a 75 perhaps. Aston Villa John McGinn. Speaking of 75s, no, we're not moving on to the grannies or the millions of pounds that Virgil van Dijk cost, it's 75 rated John McGinn. The Scot is still a Premier League player after Villa survived and proved to be a key man alongside Jack Grealish before his injury. An 80 rating would be pushing it too far, but McGinn could certainly go up to a 78 and I don't think anyone would bat an eyelid. As long as the potential is in the 80s, that's alright. Brighton NEAL MAUPAY. A lot of Brighton's current ratings are pretty accurate, but I think NEAL MAUPAY deserves a wee upgrade, or maybe FIFA should insert a shithousery rating. If they did, MAUPAY would definitely get a 99. But the French striker was a 75 at the start of FIFA 20, and I think deserves to go to a 77 after a promising first year in the top flight. God, he's a shithouse though, isn't he? Burnley Nick Pope. Our highest rated player so far, Nick Pope, should be rated even higher. He started FIFA 20 as a 79, but come on, he should be low 80s at least. 81 or 82, something like that. He's got it all. If he could play out with his feet, he'd be up there with Alisson and Edison. Although that means he hasn't got it all. He might have it all for all we know, but that's not how Sean Dyche rolls, okay? Chelsea Christian Pulisic. Another 79 and another player who has to be in the 80s next season. I actually can't believe Pulisic was only a 79 this time last year. His debut season has been absolutely fantastic, sometimes playing like an Eden Hazard figure on the left. Chelsea can rely on him like they relied on the Belgian, and next season he should start FIFA 21 as something like an 83. Or is that pushing it? Crystal Palace Jordan Ayew. I don't like him, I don't like it when he scores, I don't understand how he does it, but the fact he does is annoying. At the start of FIFA 20 he was a 75, and yet again he defied belief and actually scored a fair few goals for Palace. Give him a 76 and I'm done with the whole thing, I'm moving on. Everton RICHARLISON. To be honest, there wasn't anyone that stood out in an Everton shirt this season. I could name you about 10 players whose ratings should go down, but picking one to increase is tough. But I'll go with RICHARLISON, who's now good enough to kick off FIFA 21 as an 80. But like I say, not a lot to shout about when it comes to Everton right now. Fulham Josh ONOMAH. Fulham are back in the Premier League, and one of their most important players this season has been Josh ONOMAH. It never quite clicked for him at Spurs, but he looks fantastic in a Fulham shirt, like the guy's jacked. This could be his time to shine in the top flight, and he has to be upgraded from last year's rating of 69. Go on FIFA, give him a 73, maybe even a 74. Leeds United ILLAN MESLIER. Another promoted team, and to be honest I could have picked anyone from Leeds to get an upgrade, their ratings were pitiful this time last year. But I'll pick out ILLAN MESLIER as he's proven in a short space of time that he can be a number 1 goalkeeper, and there's no chance a Premier League number 1 should be rated as low as 66. Then again, they might just buy another goalkeeper to be honest. If there's one manager who probably doesn't care about FIFA ratings, I'd imagine it's Marcelo Bielsa. Poor bloke probably doesn't even know what FIFA is. I don't think he's got an Xbox. Leicester City KELECHI IHEANACHO. Poor KELECHI IHEANACHO had been written off by everyone, even the guys at FIFA. On FIFA 20 he kicked off as a lowly 73, a strike you wouldn't even touch with a barge pole. I never know what that saying actually means. Anyway, Iheanacho has turned a few heads with some standout performances this season, proving that it could be life in his Leicester career. Get him up to a 75 or a 76, it's the right thing to do. Liverpool Curtis Jones. This one's a no-brainer. While Curtis Jones hasn't played a lot this season, he's impressed whenever he has. That goal against Everton in the FA Cup was out of this world. There's absolutely no way he'll be as low as a 61 on FIFA 20. Get him near the 70 mark where he belongs. It won't be long before he's pushing an 80 if he continues to progress once again next season. Manchester City Phil Foden. He had a decent rating at the start of FIFA 20, but he still needs to go up on FIFA 21. Ever since games began behind closed doors, Phil Foden's been one of the best players in a City shirt. Guardiola's trusted him more than ever, and Foden has taken that trust and delivered at every opportunity. He scored goals and created them from different positions, proving that he's the David Silva replacement Pep thought he could be. Foden needs to start FIFA 21 as an 80 at least, and his potential will take him into the 90s. Manchester United, Mason Greenwood. We've got another youngster who's impressed in Manchester this season, and Mason Greenwood's rating has to go by even more than Foden's. Last year he started as just a 67 rating, this year you could probably swap those numbers around and no one would care. Greenwood is en route to becoming a star with an ice cold killer instinct in front of goal, and this will be the first year on FIFA where he's a star you want straight away. Newcastle United, Allan Saint-Maximin. To be fair, I don't care if Saint-Maximin doesn't go up on FIFA 21, but they need to make him look real. I mean, look at that, you can't tell me that looks anything like Allan Saint-Maximin. Nothing's right at all, there isn't even a headband. But Saint-Maximin is a fan favourite at Newcastle, and with neutrals because of his style of play, and he should go up from 79 to an 81 for FIFA 21 after a strong first season in the North East. Sheffield United, George Baldock. You could pick anyone from this Sheffield United team, but one standout low rating was that of George Baldock. He's one of Chris Wilder's flying wing backs and has been an attacking outlet and a fantasy football favourite all season. Yet on FIFA 20 he started as a 69, so low you'd want to replace him as soon as you got him in your team. Get him up to a 75 and give George Baldock the respect he deserves, okay? Southampton, Danny Ings. What a season Danny Ings has had. He's one of the top scorers in the Premier League, ending the campaign with a remarkable 22 goals. There's no way that Danny Ings' rating won't go up for FIFA 21, it's just a case of by how much. He was a 76, but you couldn't begrudge the former Liverpool injury liability in 80 in the red and white of Southampton. Tottenham, JAPHET Tanganga. Not many Tottenham stars impressed beyond expectations this season, but JAPHET Tanganga's breakthrough deserves some recognition from the FIFA crew. You wouldn't bother going near him on FIFA 20, but things might be different on FIFA 21, at least in terms of potential. On FIFA 20 he was a 65, so maybe this year he might be a versatile option at 72. West Brom, Romaine Sawyers. I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about this West Brom team, but when I have seen them I've been impressed by Romaine Sawyers. He's just so comfortable in possession, and he takes loads of pressure off his teammates, making him a key component of how Slaven Bilic's side operate. On FIFA 20 he was a 72, but I hope he gets an upgrade this year. Not sure what else to say here. Here's a picture of an ice cream. It's been hot out there, hasn't it? West Ham United, Declan Rice. After the initial hype that seemed over the top, Declan Rice has proven this season that he's the real deal. I mean, at times he's carried the hammers, and he's no longer just a player who sits in front of the defence and mops up the mess like a cleaner. This season we've seen him take control of games, try and dominate proceedings and force the issue for his club, mainly because no one else was going to do it themselves. On FIFA 20 he started as a 78, but I think Rice deserves to be an 80 on this year's game. And finally Wolves, Adama Traore. No matter how low his rating is, Adama Traore is still a fun player to use on FIFA. His pace and power makes him unstoppable, and he so quickly ends up with loads of space up the other end of the pitch that he can take his time to pick a pass or score a goal. But there's just no way he'll be a 74 again on FIFA 21. For one thing, the bloke knows how to put a cross in now and actually find a teammate. He's like a Pokemon, evolving from a little baby Charmander to a full-on lethal Charizard. With his lubed up arms and ridiculous muscles, Adama Traore should start FIFA 21 as a 78 or a 79 at least. So there we have it, that's one player from each Premier League club whose rating should go up on FIFA 21. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Alexpo, and until next time, we'll see you around.